only two issues to consider here.
Right.
One, is the unborn child, the fetus, a human being? And two, if so, is it ever acceptable to kill the unborn? Refuting pro-abortion arguments.
Right. In many cases, proving the first premise that the unborn is a human being is sufficient to impress people about the horrors of abortion. And this is why most pro-abortion politicians totally ignore the unborn and shift the focus to a debate about a woman's right to choose.
Right. Many mothers change their minds about getting an abortion upon seeing photos, and especially today's 4D ultrasound images of what's growing inside her. You can clearly see that a baby is not just some clump of cells, and then having to consider the disgusting brutality of the abortion methods that are performed on their child. Thoughts about that the child begin to turn the alternatives, of course, to abortion.
Right. Yeah. Since we've established that the unborn really is human, we can show how horrific the usual pro-abortion. Right, but the situation today is different. Peter Singer is probably one of the most well-known bioethicists who, though he's too humane to eat a hamburger and advocates giving rights to great apes, has no qualms about infanticide.
Exactly. He readily admits that the unborn child is fully human, but argues that the humanity of the unborn child does not obligate society to preserve that life. And he proposes a 28-day time period in which he feels that that the infant might be killed before granting them human rights. So parents should have a 28-day time period, whether to decide to off their kid for whatever reason before they become fully human in that sense.
Right. Yeah, he says that killing is not wrong at all.
Barack Obama opposed the U.S. Supreme Court decision upholding the ban on partial birth abortion, the gruesome procedure in which a late-term baby's body is delivered, leaving only the head in the birth canal. Then the abortionist sucks the baby's brains out and delivers the dead baby now that the head has been shrunk. And Obama supported that procedure.
Yeah, of course.
The lengths that people will go to justify killing humans is astounding.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be able to fully explore all the bad argumentation from the pro-aborts in this half-hour show. So for more details, especially about attempts to justify infanticide, see the article on our website entitled Blurring the Line Between Abortion and Infanticide.
Yeah.
And you can see that at creation.com/infanticide.
And we've been looking at two premises. Number one, is the unborn child a human being? And number two, if so, is it ever acceptable to kill the unborn? Now, for the great majority of people, if they come to realize that the answer to the first question is yes, the argument for abortion is over, because most people know that murder is wrong.
Right, and coming to that conclusion really isn't hard. Often photos of babies in the womb or videos of 4D ultrasound are sufficient for most people to see the unborn child is in fact human.
Yes.
Just do a search online for 4D ultrasound, for example. It's an amazing technology, and you'll see this for yourself. And get a video of the child at the stage that the mother is at, and at every stage you'll find out this is a human being we're talking about.
That's incredible. Some of the technology helps us to see that nowadays. Let's continue refuting some more pro-abortion arguments. Here's one. The life in the womb is really a part of the woman, and the woman has the right to do as she wills with her body.
Well, if it's a part of the woman, then does the woman have 4 arms, 4 legs, 2 heads, and 4 eyes? Is that what a human is?
Right, right. If it's part of the woman, it is part of the woman only in the sense that the life is living and growing inside the mother. Her body is feeding the life. Her body is separate from the life that's growing in her.
Right. The life growing in the womb can have a different blood type from the mother, and it has separate brain waves.
Yes.
It is, therefore, an independent life with its own human DNA. Its nature is human, and it's a life separate from the mother.
Right. Another argument for abortion is legal.
Right. Well, abortion might be legal, but does that mean it's right? I mean, something can be legal and still be wrong.
Yes.
There's God's laws and man's laws. Slavery was legal, but that didn't make it right. In Nazi Germany, killing Jews was legal. That was one of the main ways they argued at the Nuremberg trials. But
Yes.
it was wrong because it was murder.
Legal, but wrong.
Right.
Yeah. How about in abortion? Here's another argument. In abortion, no one is hurt since the fetus is not a person.
Right. Well, this is simply begging the question here.
Yeah.
You assume it isn't human, even though it's alive and has human DNA, and then you pass judgment. Also saying the fetus isn't a person doesn't really make it so. That's
Right.
just by fiat, you just make this claim. The fetus has the nature of a human and is injured, of course, by killing.
Yes, yeah. If it isn't a person, then there should be absolutely no guilt at all with killing the life in the womb, right?
Yeah,
But
of course.
then why do so many women have feelings of incredible guilt after an abortion? Does abortion really leave the woman uninjured? Countless women are psychologically harmed when they kill the child in their womb.
Right. You know, people like Peter Singer, who we mentioned earlier, have had their consciences so seared that they're unable to grasp these simple truths. I mean, he won't eat a hamburger because it's inhumane, but
Right.
has no qualms about killing children after they're outside of the womb.
Yeah.
But that's all based on his evolutionary philosophy that we all, descend from one common ancestor, that cows, that's where hamburgers come from,
Right.
are related to
He's
humans
gone
in that way.
completely off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah. His views are shocking to most people, but they're consistent. Since he's rejected God and his word, the source of truth, Romans 1 talks about this. It talks about people who, for example, for although they knew God, did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images resembling mortal man and birds and animals and creeping things.
So people reject God and exchange worshiping God with worshiping animals.
Yes.
That's today's culture. Many kinds of animal fetuses are protected by law, but not human fetuses. I mean, how backward is that?
Yeah, yeah. The abortion industry is a horrible business that leaves women with deep emotional scars and a lot of guilt about what they've participated in. Killing unborn babies is not the solution to anything and only brings more trouble on those involved. It's a sign of a really sick society. It's a society that has abandoned God.
Yep. You look back in history to some of the cultures who rejected God and considered them, we consider them barbaric, right?
Yeah.
Israel, for example, in the times of the kings, when people abandoned obedience to God, they sacrificed their babies to the fake god Moloch.
Yeah.
What's happening today is, well, that's just as barbaric as what the Israelites did then.
Right. We look back and we think they're barbaric. Well,
how are we going to be judged?
We're here too. Refuting pro-abortion arguments. Now, as you've seen, the arguments used to support killing humans in the womb are easily refuted.
Yeah. Let's do one more. Here's an argument. There are too many people in the world.
Right, yeah. And the refutation is, since when does the value of human life depend on how many people there are?
Yeah.
Besides, if the number of people is the issue, maybe they should start getting rid of people or people that look funny and aren't good looking. Where's that going to stop?
Right, and maybe the people who are using this argument should volunteer themselves as the first ones to go, rather than picking on other people. There are some people who are actually promoting these kinds of ideas today. I mean, this is scary. There are university professors giving lectures where students are standing up and clapping that we should get rid of people. Again, they're not volunteering themselves or their own families,
right.
I noticed. People like Peter Singer, who we mentioned earlier, have had their consciences so seared. Abortion might be legal, but does that mean it's right? I mean, something can be legal and still be wrong.
Yes.
There's God's laws and man's laws. Slavery was legal, but that didn't make it right. In Nazi Germany, killing Jews was legal. That was one of the main ways they argued at the Nuremberg trials. But it was wrong because it was murder.
Legal, but wrong. And birds and animals and creeping things.
So people reject God and exchange worshiping God with worshiping animals.
Yes.
That's today's culture. Many kinds of animal fetuses are protected by law, but not human fetuses. I mean, how backward is that?
Yeah. The abortion industry is a horrible business that leaves women with deep emotional scars and a lot of guilt about what they've participated in. Killing unborn babies is not the solution to anything and only brings more trouble on those involved. It's a sign of a really sick society. It's a society that has abandoned God.